Hey guys, what is going on? So I watched Raw, and I just thought to myself, I just can't review this because I'll be too negative. Because in general, that show just really did suck. There was so many things in there which I just didn't care about. So in this video, as you can see up above, I am going to be doing a discussion video because I haven't done one of these for some time, and I'm going to do 5 ways in which WWE Raw can improve, how Raw can improve, that show, how it can improve, because, I mean, these are the 5 reasons which I can think of. Well, yeah, these are my top 5 reasons at the moment. I'm sure there's, yeah, there's loads of reasons, there really is. I mean, if you guys can comment down below your reasons, please do, please state them. Be much appreciated. I really want to know what everyone else thinks as well. I can think of many other ones, but these ones I just really want to say right now. So, let's get to number 1, shall we? Ryback versus Tensai. That is how I feel when I'm watching the Raw product. When I see the repeat matches. Now, on Raw, we did see the Ryback versus Tensai match. I don't know why. We've already seen Ryback go over Tensai, so why are we seeing it again? You set up the match. It's clear who's going to win. It is clear who's going to win. I mean, I don't know. We had this a couple of weeks back. It's not going to surprise me who's going to win this. And it kind of annoys me how Vicky thinks that, Tensai is going to be the opponent for Ryback to face. It's going to be a real big clash. And you also have the commentators, Michael Cole, I believe he said, he's going to have to prove his strength or something. He's already proven it the other week. Of course he's going to do it again. It's not believable how Tensai can go over Ryback. Ryback's a monster. I've seen this repeat now, and when you see these repeat matches, they lose their credibility. I'm going to give you a prime example right now. The Rock versus Hogan at WrestleMania 18. God damn it, that was a phenomenal match. The crowd were buzzing. It was just the atmosphere was fantastic. Just everything about it was awesome. It gave me goosebumps. It really did. And then they go into No Way Out, don't they? In 2003. They have the match again, Rock and Hogan. It just loses its credibility because of that. You have like a match, like something like that, is big, and it just goes down when you have a repeat match. Okay, it's a bit, I would say maybe it's a little bit too extreme to compare it with these to Raw, I don't know. But that is kind of the sense I'm getting at the moment. Another match we've seen several times now. Del Rio and Randy Orton. We saw this on Raw again. We keep seeing this match. Again and again and again. Yes, Randy Orton RKO'd Del Rio and got the pin on him at Survivor Series. So then they're going to do a match on the next show at Raw. Randy Orton versus Del Rio in a 2 out of 3 falls count match. Adding that stipulation really does not, make me think Del Rio's going to go over. Del Rio's got to go over. Del Rio needs to go over. I can't see it happening when you already have Randy Orton, who has gone over several times, by the way. And you've seen it several times. Even when they had this stipulation, you just don't care about it because you've seen it so many times. It's really annoying. And I hear loads of rumours that they're going to be doing a Rock versus Cena 2 at WrestleMania 29. God damn it, if that happens again, if you compare it with The Rock and Hogan, it loses its credibility. Yes, this will lose its credibility. Remember, the tagline, once in a lifetime. It will lose that tagline. It will lose that caption. It will lose the name of how it should be. Once in a lifetime. I'll give you a hint here, by the way. Once. Only meant to happen once. We don't need a repeat. Okay, this is not happening yet. This is a possibility. But I'm just saying it in advance. And saying how repeats of the matches, it makes me not care. It really doesn't. And when you see these baby faces go over and go over every time in these repeat matches, and you see another repeat match, you know what's going to happen. Does it happen? Yes, most of the time. Sometimes no. And when that happens, well done. But when they do the repeats that you keep seeing, and you keep seeing the same results, you don't care. And again, when they have these different stipulations, again you don't care. I'm afraid that's what happens. You know, in my opinion, I just don't care when they put these repeat matches on when I've seen them before and they get the same result out of them. I just, especially when you have the match at a pay-per-view and then you put it on free TV, a repeat match, it loses its credibility. Really loses its credibility. I mean, yes, you have seen some good repeat matches. But when I say repeat, I mean the kind of repeat where you see the same result and you only see it from like a couple weeks. So you have a week here with Del Rio and Orton, then you have the next week Del Rio and Orton again. That is when I don't care. But when you say about repeat matches where you will kind of care about, those are the repeat matches which you only get on rare occasions. Now I'm going to give you a great example here. Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin, you know, how many matches did they have together? 3 matches out of their career, only together. 3 matches one-on-one, by the way. And they all happened at WrestleMania. You know, those kind of repeat matches are kind of special. You know, when you put like a repeat match on one of the big 4 pay-per-views or something like that, and you don't have them against each other for a very long time, that is when it becomes a little bit more believable and you kind of care for the match. You know, you kind of care for the match. But when they give you something which you've seen several times before, and they give you it again, give you the same result, Babyface goes over, which normally happens, by the way, you don't care about it. And you know what? That leads me on to my next point, doesn't it? Every time when I watch Raw, I always seem to think, well, I seem to always get, that the babyfaces always go over. My chair just rumbled there a little. Just nearly fell off. But anyway, yes. The heels never seem to get the win, really. It's a very rare occasion. I mean, looking back on this week's Raw, CM Punk went over with Ryback in that segment. Wade Barrett went over. But when you look at it on a long-term basis, you know, you look back to the past and all that in this year and last year and the other year before that, the babyfaces seem to get over all the time, and the heels need to go over more, in my opinion, because the heels, as a smart mug, I believe I actually feel emotionally involved with them. I actually get behind them. Why? Because they've got edge. That is why. Have any of the babyfaces got edge? No, they haven't. So that's why I follow the most of the heels. You know, the heels are more interesting, obviously. To a smart mouth fan as me, I think they're more interesting. But when I look at the heels, when they get the victory, how they get the victory is always in a heelish way, and they always do it the coward's way out, don't they? They seem to always do it in the coward's way out. It is very hard sometimes to see that they go over clean. Now, I will give you an example on Raw, and Wade Barrett actually went over clean on Kofi Kingston. I mean, he went over clean. I mean, that's great. That's how they should be booked. But when heels go over using that coward's way out, they'll do something like, you know, like they did on the Survivor Series with Punk. Well, they have Dean Ambrose, Rollins, and Roman Reigns, like powerbomb Ryback on the announcer table, and then the heel gets the win. I kind of see this all the time with WWE. The heels seem to always not go over clean, and when they go over clean, it makes it more interesting. You seem to then be able to get behind the baby faces in a way, and think, you know, they need to overcome that obstacle. But when the heels go over in a coward's way out, in a heelish way out, whatever you want to call it, you seem to think the babyfaces are obviously going to go over once they don't stop using the chairs, or stop using the equipment, or stop getting the win out of heelish ways, or so on. So, in my opinion, the heels need to go over clean. Okay? I'm going to give you two examples. One was quite a bit in the past, and one is kind of quite recent, happened last year. Now, the one we're going to go first to is Triple H, back in the day, yes. There was numerous of times he went over clean. You know, I could name quite a few events where he went over clean, and it made him a believable heel, you know, a believable talent where you could actually think, you know, he is a force to be reckoned with. You know, what babyface is going to be going to get over him? You know, that played on your mind in a way. You know, getting you involved within the product, and WWE right now just fails to do that. You know, Triple H back in the day, when he was a heel, he got over clean several times, and you think how much of a big impact that did on the event, or in the long term. It made him a star because he got over clean, in my opinion. You know, what if back in the day Triple H went over all the time? Yes, he went over sometimes in a heelish way, because sometimes that's what they need to do. Maybe to further on a feud, or further on storylines. But if you look at Triple H and you think, if he didn't go over clean all those times, I wonder how believable he would be right now. I really do. I don't think much people would be believing him. No one really care. But because he went over clean, it makes him more believable. You know, as a star, an actual wrestler who you could actually think he could beat anyone. You know? And that's what some heels nowadays, they just fail to do that. You look at Dolph Ziggler, for example. How many times has he jobbed? You just lose all the credibility to that guy, because you think, I feel sorry for Ziggler. I really do. I really do feel sorry for Ziggler. I know the YWC love the guy. I understand why, because he's a great in-ring technician. He is. I mean, he's great on the mic. He hasn't exactly got the body, but I guess it doesn't really matter that much. But, I mean, you just look at Dolph Ziggler, and he's gone over, well, when he does go over, he's generally in the heelish way. Yes, he's gone over quite a few times, you know, doing that clean victory. And that's what makes him a star, in my opinion. There's a heel star. You look at Dolph Ziggler again, and you think, this is really hard to explain here, guys, because you have a star like Dolph Ziggler, and he seems to be jobbing every time. He's holding that Money in the Bank briefcase, kind of symbolises how he's going to be the future World Heavyweight Champion. But you can't really get behind him, because he keeps jobbing. But if he was to win cleanly every time, or actually push him, I know he went over clean on Survivor Series, which is great booking decision there. But because he's jobbed so many times, you kind of lose the credibility to the guy and think, you know what, I don't care. When he is the World Heavyweight Champion, I wonder how long it's going to take for him to lose it, because he keeps jobbing. It's a shame, really. It is a big shame. I like the guy, I really do. It is a shame. Anyway, another example is Mark Henry, last year. They brought him back, don't they? They bring him back. He drafts over to SmackDown, and they actually make the guy, you know, a big force. I believe he attacks Cena first, doesn't he? And then he gets in a feud with some of the superstars such as Kane, Big Show, and signifies himself as a Hall of Pain. He is also in a feud with Sheamus. So he then goes on to face Randy Orton for the World Heavyweight Championship. And there is a moment where I think, great, this is fantastic, because it was Mark Henry went over clean on Randy Orton to win that championship. That made him a star. You know, you look go back to that event, you know, you look back at all the work he's done with Big Show, Kane, how he's been taking all these superstars out. You think, well, he's going to be a force to, you know, he's going to be a force. You know, he's going to win that championship. And he goes over, and he does it clean. That just makes you think, whoa, this guy is actually going to be, you know, this. I wonder how long it's going to take him to lose it. It's not going to take him, it's going to take him long, sorry. It's going to take him very long. Who could you see winning against him? It just, that is how you do it. It really is. I mean, he didn't even over clean, sorry, yes. He went over clean. They have a rematch at Hell in a Cell, yep. No. They have a rematch somewhere down the line, it was Hell in a Cell. And again, Mark Henry goes over clean. And that is how you book the heels. You can't have the heels going over in a heelish way every single time, because then you think, well, he's a coward, and that's not how they should be, you know. I mean, I'm going to be really, really, I'd say stereotypical here, but you look at superheroes. Yes, I'm going to say like this. You look at superheroes, you look at the evil, you know, villains. You think the villains are going to be really hard to beat. But, you know what I mean. They shouldn't... Yeah. I'm just losing my words right now, aren't I? But yes, the heels should be going over and making a name for themselves and doing it in a clean victory. They shouldn't... Okay, yes, they should be sometimes doing it in a heelish way to further on the storyline, to further on the feud, but not always, because that's what I seem to get every week on Raw. Next point. I'm sure everyone is in agreement with me in here, because on this one, the Raw should go back to 2 hours, because 3 hours is way too much, especially when you have a 2 hour SmackDown. You have Friday, well, no, you have what do you have? You have Saturday Morning Slam, which I didn't watch. You have NXT. You have Superstars. I've said NXT. Yeah, you have Superstars, NXT, and all these other shows like Main Event as well. And it just seems a bit... It's just too much. Too much. So Raw needs to go back to 2 hours. They need to stop giving us all these shows and just giving it in all of our faces, because it's too much. Because remember, the WWE is not all your life, is it? You don't spend all your life watching WWE. You do other things as well. That's what they have to see. But in here, they're just thinking, oh no, we'll give them this, we'll give them this, we'll give them this, give them this. I've got loads of stuff to do. Yes, I'll watch Raw and SmackDown. But sometimes I just can't watch some of the stuff because I need to do other things. And Raw gives us 3 hours of that. 3 hours of crap. 3 hours of pointless show right now, by the way. Yes, they can improve. Yes, I am telling them how they can improve. But, I mean, what they're giving me right now is too much. It is too much. 3 hours on a show. It's just hard to sit through. Especially when you get the repeat matches and also all the predictive things, all the boring segments and all the recaps. It is too much. It is too much, and I skip quite a lot of it, you know. I go out and make a cup of tea or something. Yes, very British there. But I do that. I actually do that, because it's too much for me. I am a huge fan of wrestling. But when they give me rubbish, I just can't sit through it. You know, I just sit through it. You know, I remember back in the day when I was a youngster, yes, watching these shows, and I was on my feet, literally on my feet, because I was so amazed and full of excitement. Was that because I was a kid, or was it because it was because of the WWE and how it was good back in the day? Yes, I guess my childhood did have a bit of an income into that. You know, I had a bit of part into that. But you could also say that with wrestling back in the day. It was great. You know, it had edge. I'm watching 3 hours of PG wrestling. It just doesn't do that for me. I just sit there. I feel bored. I feel like I'm going to sleep. I think I've got other things what I could be doing right now. You know, I'm a sixth form student, and I could be doing, you know, work. But I sit through it, unfortunately. Yeah, I sit through it because I'm dedicated to the product, and yeah, the WWE Raw should be going back to 2 hours, and they should stop giving us all these other shows as well, because it kind of makes me feel claustrophobic. You know, it's too much. It is too much, and I can't stress that enough. Let's go to the next point, shall we? Building up new talent. Now this one's a biggie. It really is. It's right up there. One of the reasons why how WWE can go back to how they used to be. You know, having a better ratings than what they're having right now. By the way, and this point kind of links to the heel point which I made. So you know, now building new talent is vital. Definitely, very vital, because you need to bring the people up, bring the wrestlers up, all the talent. You need to make them believable. You need to make them interesting. And you need the fans to get behind them if they're a babyface, or the fans to hate them if they're a heel. But when I mean hate, I mean the correct way of hate. You know, thinking, oh, he's gonna destroy my babyface. How is my babyface gonna overcome that obstacle? That is what I mean. Right, now I'm gonna give you a great example here. Wade Barrett. Yes. I am a very, very big fan of Wade Barrett. Yes, he's British, I'm British, you know all that. But I like the guy, you know, he's got some good in-ring work, he's great on the mic, by the way. And I don't understand why he's going for the Intercontinental Championship. Yes, that belt has a lot of history, yes. One of my favourite belts, in fact. But is it the most prestigious title in wrestling in today? No. Why isn't he going on to the World Heavyweight Championship, which he said, by the way? I just don't understand that. That's just a point I had to make there. So they bring Wade Barrett back in, don't they? They do all these promo video packages. You know, the bare knuckle fighting, really, really focusing on that gimmick. So you're sure to think, well, this guy has a background to him, is interesting. So you're really looking forward to the way he's going to return. So he finally returns on a SmackDown where it wasn't really announced, no hype to it, which completely down the drain, by the way. Why didn't he return on a pay-per-view, attack someone or something like that? Lead straight into a feud. That's what they should have done. They failed to do that, by the way. So, you have Wade Barrett, and how many times have I seen a pointless match of him on Raw, SmackDown? I've seen it quite a few times. I really have. It's a real shame. It really is a shame. It really is, because Wade Barrett, he should be right up there by the now. He should be in that main event scene, and he's not. WWE are not pushing this guy enough. He's got it all. Surely he's got it all. So why aren't they building him up to be like, you know, proper, go the way with him? I just don't understand that. So they're going to hinder him and put him in the Intercontinental Championship feud with Kofi Kingston, only because Wade Barrett beat him clean. Well, he beat him on Raw, by the way. It's just, do I believe it? No, I don't, unfortunately. Right, also, Ambrose, Rollins, and Reigns. They debuted, didn't they, in WWE. Now, a great way which they can do, and hopefully they can actually build up these guys. Make them future people, you know, future wrestlers, sorry, in the business, where they can actually make an impact on the show in the future. Even now. You know, they're making a bit of an impact right now, aren't they? So, I don't know how long it's going to last. Probably not going to be long. And when it's going to last, when it's going to end, WWE will do something where they're going to be jobbing every week. And I don't want to see that. I want them to keep their stability, shall we say. And they need to go the way with these new superstars. Because, I'm sorry, you can't have the top guy at the top for how many years? You can't have it. John Cena's been the top guy for so long now. I can't, you know, he is the top guy, face it. Can't help that. You know, everyone hates Cena now because of that and all the stuff, you know, PG, all that, you know what I'm talking about. But I just feel like these new superstars need to make a name for themselves and also actually be themselves instead of the scriptwriters giving them things which they're not, because they need to be themselves so it's actually believable and interesting. You know, it needs to be game changing. That's what it needs to be. You know, proper into it, and they need to go the way of them and build them up so they are a dominant force in the WWE in the future, even now if needs to be. I mean, seriously, Cesaro's another one. When I watch Cesaro, I don't really care. Do I like the guy? Damn it, I love the guy. He's great. He was great in FCW, and because of how he's being featured, you don't care about him. His gimmick, nobody cares. That is an awful gimmick, an absolute awful gimmick. His gimmick was much better in FCW than the anti-American. I'll tell you something here. I know there was a lot of talk on this to make his character interesting. Why not bring back the European champion? Scrap the US champion. Bring back the European champion. He'll get a lot of heel heat for that. And as well, be making a name for himself. It's just another example. Something they can do. Really easy, I think. And they just failed to do it. I just feel like they can't, you know, they can't chance things, you know, they take a gamble, shall we say. They had to be safe, you know, all revolve around Cena because he's the top guy for the company and he can do everything for us. I'm afraid it's not. Sorry. I'm afraid not. I am sorry. That is not what happens. They need to build these new guys up. Make them believable, make them interesting, and do all of that for the future. And it sucks, it really does, because I see some of these talents and I think, I feel sorry for you because you're not going to be anything. They're not really going to package you and promote you. It's just, it's really, really frustrating, really is, and I just don't get why they can't do that, and they always fail to do it as well. So the final point I am going to make is we need some intense rivalries and some intense storylines, ones we believe in, which are realistic. On Raw, what have we been seeing for the past weeks? And what have they been focusing on? Really focusing on it, even though, you know, who cares about it? Who actually cares about it? The AJ and Cena storyline, I just don't care about. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who don't care about it. I know there's a lot of people who don't care about it in the YWC. So why give us this? It's a waste of space. It really is. You know, you look back at TNA as well, when they did this kind of storyline on their show. No one believed it. When I watched it, I just couldn't be bothered with it. And this is a game with the WWE. They're even doing it worse. I'm sorry. This one's much worse than AJ Kazarian and Christopher Daniels. It is. It really is worse than that. No one cares about this. I do not care about it. Why are they featuring this? Oh, because John Cena's involved. Yippee. We need storylines which are believable. You know, we need these intense storylines. And I remember back in the day, remember Triple H and Shawn Michaels. We've seen it many times before. But it was intense. It was a rivalry which you thought, wow, this is big, this is. And this is, you could contrast this with in today's in TNA with Bobby Roode and James Storm. When I watched their matches, it's fantastic because the rivalry has been so intense. You know, their match at Bound for Glory, absolutely great. Absolutely magnificent. I was going to say fantastic, but it was fantastic. Yeah, fantastic, great, awesome. Excuse me there. But yeah, I mean, they had the Enforcer as well, Special Enforcer. It's just fantastic, wasn't it? We need this in WWE. We really do. We need these intense rivalries. And when I mean intense rivalries, I mean the real rivalries. You look back at Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart, probably the greatest rivalry in wrestling history. It's definitely mine anyway. Just fantastic feud there. A believable feud because both two guys, you know, they had so much in common, but they didn't. When I mean common, they hated each other's guts. They wanted to be the top guys in the company. They didn't want a job for anyone. And then when it came down to their battles, it was real. It felt real. It was so intense, and that is what I miss in today's WWE, because nothing is intense anymore. John Cena and CM Punk, as much as how big their names are, the rivalry is not that great. If they was to do a great rivalry here, they could at least, you know, say how CM Punk wants to be the top guy. Well, I know they tried doing this, but in my opinion, they didn't captivate it fully. They could have really gone the distance with this, and they didn't do it. They just didn't dwell upon it. Especially when you have Ryback coming in and then, you know, go straight for the title. That completely damages it as well. It just completely drops. You know, an intense storyline, an intense rivalry which they could have done, it just failed in my opinion. That is what I miss today. That we don't have these intense storylines, and believable storylines, and believable rivalries. We kind of want them. We do. We really do. You know, you look back at a game with Edge and Kane, Edge and Matt Hardy. They were, you know, they were real rivalries right there. It's what I miss. It really is what I miss, because they felt real, because they were real. That's what we need. You know, we need some edge in these storylines. We need some edge in these rivalries. Watching these AJ and Cena segments, which nobody cares about, really isn't, you know, name-changing, captivating. No one cares about it. Turn off. Skip. That is what I do. That is what I do. On Raw, AJ and John Cena kiss. Who cares? Seriously, who actually cares about this? Because I don't. You know, I just don't care. It's not realistic. It's not believable. It's just bad. It really is bad. But yeah, that is it. That is it, guys. That is your 5 points to how Raw can, you know, how Raw can improve. You know, these are some of my opinions out here, by the way. And what I want from you guys is, what I'd like is, you know, for you to comment and tell me what you think, how Raw can be improving, you know, different ways, more logical ways, you know, just ways of how they can improve, because there's several. I could name more and more, but, you know, I can't be here all day. So, yeah, I hope you enjoy it, guys, anyway. Yeah, I really do hope you enjoy it. Sorry I'm a little bit too negative. If I was, I'm sorry about that. I tried to not be as negative as I could, 'cause right now I could be shouting and just going crazy. I really could, because WWE sucks right now. So I hope I haven't been too negative, and I hope I've been entertaining. So yeah, please as well add me on Facebook and Skype, and comment down below. You know, share your thoughts on how Raw can be improving, ways they can improve. You know, how the show can be improving. But that has been it, guys. Thank you for watching, and until next time, guys. See ya.